sports fanatics. Welcome back to the Sports Fanatic Podcast. I am your host, Skylar, the Sports Fanatic. And today, sports are just awesome. You know what? Plain and simple. Here, episode 7, sports are just awesome. You know, today on the show, we're going to discuss our Phillies, as we usually do. We're going to dive into the Ocho Corner again, a regular segment that, again, I'm so excited to continue to dive into. You will find out why very shortly. Then we'll touch on some other topics from around the sports world, just kind of dip our toe in a little bit of some things before we wrap the show up. So there's a little bit of a different thing going on here this week with my life schedule, with football season coming up. I'm going to start to do things a little bit differently here on the show. I'm going to start filming the show on a Saturday. I've normally been filming my shows on Sundays and then editing them real quick and uploading them. And not that that's been working terribly or anything, but we're going to go with a bit of a different strategy. Filming my episodes here now on Saturdays, and then going to work on editing them and having them uploaded hopefully more first thing in the morning on Sunday rather than really late at night. So look forward to that moving forward here on the show. I'm excited for this new kind of format. I think it's going to help me a lot better. And especially with football season coming, I got to be able to preview the Steelers who are going to play on Sundays and then talk about them. So with that in mind, we're going to dive into the show here. Our first topic, we're going to jump right into the Phillies. And, you know, the Phillies are our main topic for the next, handful of weeks. Of course, we are in the heat of a baseball season, not just games-wise, temperature-wise as well. It is smoking hot and only supposed to get hotter in the next couple days. Man, wherever you are, stay cold. Get some AC, get some cold water, get something. But the boys here... are things finally turning around? Now, I hammer the desk every week because we need consistency, and we don't get that here. So it's hard to say, is the ship going right? Because it feels like it's going right, but you give them a couple more games of being hot, and they'll go right back to cold. So momentum is a big thing. And you got to ride the wave when you get it. And you got to hope it comes at the right time. They got a really sweet wave of momentum right now. 6-1 in the last 7. They've won almost every game since we spoke last. And some really awesome performances, I got to say. This past week, when we last spoke, they were about to play the last game with the Blue Jays. And, oh man, what a performance. What a performance by the guys. They come out and absolutely smoke the Blue Jays. 11-4 in that one. And I got to tell you what, I was a little shocked by this one again, because whenever the bats really come out, it shouldn't shock us that the bats can do this, but it excites you because you get to watch the Phillies do what the Phillies should be doing. Now, this was a Zack Wheeler game, so you expect a win. I mean, I expect a win most times Zack pitches. He had a little bit of what felt like was going to be a struggle with the Mets yesterday, which we'll get into. But wheels is wheels, man. I have nothing but faith in this guy. In this one, he only gives up 4 hits, 9 strikeouts. He gives up the 1 earned run, but man, this guy's electric. And he should be a Cy Young winner. He deserves it. He also deserves to go win a World Series trophy, which is why we need to get it moving. We need to get it moving, get this team to the World Series, and get him that. He already said, I know all the reports are going, so, I mean, we can break it here, too, that he's said that when this contract's up, 2027, that's it. He's hanging it up, and what a great career he's had. And, I mean, we got to get him a trophy before then. We have to. He deserves it, and the league needs to recognize what an amazing pitcher he is, so he gets that Cy Young before he hangs it up also, because he deserves that as well. In this game, the Phillies jump out all over. I mean, just all over the Blue Jays. In the first few innings, Schwarber getting it done, getting Trey home, Bohm getting it done, bringing Schwarber home, getting Kemp home. I mean, the boys, everybody getting involved. That's what's been so beautiful about this stretch of games, is that it feels like everybody's getting involved. It's a little bit of everything, a little bit of everybody, you know, small ball in it, big ball in it. I know that we always try for big balls, and I said all the time, I know we're going to have a little bit of a laugh there, but we always try for the big shot home run ball, and it doesn't have to be that. Man, it doesn't have to be that. Just put the ball in play. That's all we're asking for. Put the ball in play, get the boys home. That's all we're asking for. After they finished off the Blue Jays, moved right into a series with the Fish, the old Marlins. And this was a Mickael game. And you know what? Another sweet performance by Mickael. I really like him being in the rotation. I really like his stuff. His fastball getting nice. His velocity, really good. Some of his breaking pitches, nasty. I mean, this guy, he only gives up 3 hits in this one, 3 strikeouts. Now, he only went 5. But, I mean, the boys, they did not bring the bats as much as they did against the Blue Jays in this one. Only 5 runs in this one as opposed to the 11 in the previous, which is where, again, consistency, although 5, much closer to 11 than 0, which is what the boys are capable of doing also. Trey Turner opened this one with a homer, and you just get real excited when you see that. Trey Turner hitting homers. We'll get into in a little bit his defense, because, again, I think that his defense, man, I don't know what we do about his defense, but, man, something has got to change. Because he's bottom of the league. He's not playing defense the way that I expected him to. He's just not. So something's got to happen, and we'll get into that in a little bit. But in this one, Kepler homers also, and I have touted about how much I love Max Kepler for a long time here. So great to see him getting it done. Brandon Marsh scoring in this one. Brandon Marsh hitting the ball all over the place. We'll get into him very, very, very shortly. But the boys coming out to perform. The boys getting it done. 5-2 victory there against the Fish. And then again, here we go. The next game, where did everybody go? We're looking around. I'm looking around. I'm searching. Where did the bats go? Where did everybody go? An 8-3 loss. And Trey Turner homers again in this one. Well, I got to say that again. I mean, again, his offense is not really the problem. It's his defense that I have an issue with, his getting it done there. But this is another Jesus Lazardo letdown. I don't know what's wrong with this guy, but he's starting to feel like the new Aaron Nola. And that's not a good thing. That's not a good thing, because the Aaron Nola that we were just watching this season was what before he left? 1-6, disgusting ERA. I mean, Jesus Lazardo, when I first saw him at the beginning of the season, was a stud. I was super excited to see where this was going to continue to go. And then he just got the train going by to let you know how much Jesus Lazardo is just a letdown, a train wreck. A train wreck is a good way to put it. His past few games have just been atrocious. He gives up 6 hits in this one, 4 earned runs, a devastating, heartbreaking home run, and it's just... Then the guys don't fight back. And you know what? I guess if they don't want to fight back, they don't want to fight back. But you know what? The bullpen's not helping either. And this was not a very good performance. I don't know where the bats went. They all decided to go home for this one. A devastating 8-3 loss. Then we come back again the next day. And again, we're going to cry consistency. We get a 4-2 win. And this one is I don't want to say a dogfight, but Ranger Suarez getting it done again. This guy is back. He's back. He goes 7 innings, 4 hits. He only gives up one on a solo home run, 8 strikeouts. I mean, he's back, guys. He's back to being Ranger Suarez, and I think that is something that is super duper exciting for all of us to see. Hopefully he continues to just make those steps and march on forward. And, in this one, it only takes 3 pitchers to get it done. You love to see that. I love to see that very much. Strahm trying to blow it because that's what Matt Strahm loves to do lately. When we discuss the bullpen here in a minute, we'll get into what a letdown I feel like Matt Strahm has become. But 4-2 victory against the Fish. Thursday, another just low-scoring game, just another low scorer. But Christopher Sanchez, pitcher here, and you know what? Most Christopher Sanchez games I feel like are low scoring. I feel like he really comes out and gets it done a lot. I'm very proud of the progression of Christopher Sanchez, and in this one he goes 8 innings, 5 hits, only 4 strikeouts, but he gives up 1 run, but. What a job. I mean, ground ball outs is the Christopher Sanchez game. He's the ground ball out hitter. And I mean, I'll take it. I'll take it all the time. All the time. Ground ball outs are just as good as strikeouts to me. You know what I mean? Any kind of out, obviously. Just as good as strikeouts. But ground ball outs are beautiful. They're beautiful things to watch because, when they sky balls into the air, you get a little antsy, and then sometimes the wind carries them away. So ground ball out's much more satisfying. A 2-1 victory in this one, and very, just not a lot going on. Bryson Stott getting a hit. Otto Kemp getting a second. Kepler getting over to third. Bohm scoring. It was a beautiful little round of hitting there. And then in the 8th, Schwarber hits a Schwar bomb. Just nukes one, as only the Schwarberian can do, to lead him to a win in this one, 2-1. And then yesterday, we got to talk yesterday because it's got me a little excited for tonight and tomorrow. And unfortunately, I'll be editing this, and we'll only be able to talk about these next 2 games next week. So hopefully it'll be an exciting time to talk about them. Because after this first one, whoa. We started the series with the Mets, who we are nose and nose with for the division lead right now. And I'm going to be honest with you, I expected the worst. I just expected the absolute worst. I was thinking to myself, this is not going to be good. It's the Mets. We know how this goes. They always beat us for some reason, even though it's Wheels. It's Wheels in their pitching, and I have the faith in him. He only goes 5 innings in this one. He gives up no runs, which is beautiful. A beautiful job. 8 strikeouts. He gives up 3 walks. He had a really rough inning, right around the 5th, 6th inning. Right around the 5th inning, it was getting really rough. He walked a lot of them. He had the bases loaded. We were really nervous. Manages to get out of it. And the boys started to come alive. I mean, the boys, they put up 2. A little hit around. Nick Castellanos scores early in the 4th. Same thing again. JT gets home off of a Marsh hit. And then, Wheels leaves the game because he had a really rough first inning. I mean, they really beat him up in the first inning. He got out of it unscathed, but he pitched 25, 30 pitches in the first inning. So by the 5th inning, he's already got like 100 pitches. So he's got to come out of the game. And in comes... Who came in this one? I got to remember because he tried to blow it. I just watched it yesterday, but the rest of it was so exciting. We'll get there in a minute. Taijuan Walker, and that's what I was about to say. In comes Taijuan Walker, and I'm not 100% sure of his position here, but I do understand trying to work him into more of a reliever position. But man, it must have been way too many days since he's pitched. He comes in and gives up 2 solo home runs in a row. Bullpen, what are you doing? What are you doing? He comes in and tries to blow the game. He tries. Now, at that point, it's only 2-0 game, so you're expecting the Mets to answer a little bit. But 2 home runs in a row, he sits right back down. I mean, he faces, 3 hitters, gets 1 out, 2 solo homers, and then thankfully, Rob Thompson was smart enough to say, all right, get back out of that game. Get out. Get out. Thankfully, Max Lazar, Tanner Banks finish it off. But the boys came alive after that inning. I mean, the batting just started to come alive. A very electrifying 7th inning. And if you have not watched this, if you have not seen the highlights of this, I encourage you to go find the footage of this. I'm going to have some pictures of it up here while we're discussing it. But a bunch of hits. Everybody's getting hits. Turner's getting hits. Marsh is scoring. Bohm is getting hits. Schwarber's getting hits. Everybody's getting hits. And then, to cap it off, bases loaded. And you know what? This is just as good as a grand slam in my eyes. Bryson Stott doubles, brings everybody home. He brings them all home. And JT Realmuto and Nick Castellanos have one of the highlight plays of the year, one of the highlight plays of the last decade, where they both come sliding in, safe, a dream call for an umpire. He gets to call the double safe, double slide, both hands get in. The catcher for the Mets just kind of throws the ball down and just you know what? I give up. I give up. The boys come alive in this one. It's amazing. Nick Castellanos caps it off with a beautiful homer. Just a beautiful homer. 10-2 victory. I'm super stoked to see what goes on tonight and tomorrow. If the bats can stay alive like this and the boys continue to put their foot on the gas pedal, then we are cruising. We are cruising through our next couple of games. Our Philly of the week, after all of that excitement, all of the fun and chaos of the week, our Philly of the week is a guy who I've gone back and forth with. It's Brandon Marsh. It's Brandon Marsh for me. Right now, his average for the past 7 days is a 375. And what can I say? His defense, to me, needs a little bit more work. I still think I would prefer Johan Rojas in the field, because his fielding, I just think, is a little better. I just think that he can field balls a little better. He's got a bit more range, a little bit more athleticism, but him and Marsh are close. They're close, but there's lots of plays that Marsh misses. There was a couple yesterday where I just feel like if it was Johan Rojas out there, he would track and get the ball. I just think he would, because he's proven to have done it before. So, but the problem is, and here comes the problem, Marsh is on fire hitting the ball. He's on fire. Every game this week, I mean, he has had multiple hits. He has been on base in every game. He's helping the boys score. He's bringing the fire. He's getting the crowd into it because the crowd loves him. We love him. What can I say? Philly of the week, Brandon Marsh. Congratulations, man. Please continue to play the way that you are playing. Just step up that defense just a little bit more. And I think you're good. I think the sky's the limit. Sky's the limit. Definitely don't really see a Gold Glove coming. I mean, he made a really beautiful rifle down throw earlier this year, but just continue to swing the bat like this. Continue to swing the bat like this, because he's not even doing it by hitting home runs. He's not doing it by hitting home runs. He's only got one in the stretch of these 7 games. He's small balling it, just putting the ball in play. Where the defense is not, that's where the ball goes. And that's what I look for. That's what I'm asking for out of these guys. I'm not asking you to go up there and hit home runs all the time. I'm just not asking for that. I'm not. I want to real quick touch on too, because I mean we were just talking about it, and I feel like we continue to address it. We're just talking about it with Marsh. The defense of this team needs to be figured out, and I don't know what the answer is. If you know what the answer is, please give me a comment, give me a shout out on something, give me something, and hit me with your suggestions. Let me hear your thoughts. Let me hear what you feel like should happen. But the defense has got to be figured out. I mean, Bryce Harper is hopefully working his way back. I know they said he took some dry swings the other day. He's starting to feel a little better. They're really, really making sure that he's good to go, and that's fine. Otto Kemp has been a really good replacement in his spot. Batting around a 300. He's really starting to feel himself. He had some really sweet plays yesterday against the Mets. He stole one against them early where he stretched out, and that toe wasn't on the bag. Whether he knew it or not, we're taking it, because there were some really bad calls in that Mets game. The umpiring behind the plate was terrible. Just terrible. A lot of bad calls, a lot of missed calls, like just a lot of bad balls and strikes. I should have looked it up here before the show, but his MLB report on his performance, it's got to not be very good. Not be very good at all. But the fielding, the infielding and the outfielding, we just got to figure it out. I know around the bases, Trey Turner, I don't know what you do with him. I don't know. Because if you bring him out to the field, who do you move out of the field? Who? Again, now, I mean, I've hammered about Brandon Marsh, maybe not playing. Maybe, there we go. You know what? I just thought of it. How about we swap them there? Let's start there and see how that works. How about we swap Trey Turner and Brandon Marsh? Put Brandon Marsh at shortstop. I don't know if he could play shortstop at all. I don't know if he's ever played shortstop. I don't know what his experience level would be. Got to look at that a little further. But, you know, I've seen discussions about Trey Turner getting out in the outfield, and I don't hate that idea, but you got to tell me who comes in then. I like Kepler in the outfield. He's not a bad defender at all. He's getting it done out there. He's only missed, I would say, a handful of plays here and there, honestly. His offense is starting to pick it back up. Castellanos is Castellanos. That guy will play every day, except for the other day. In case you didn't see, they had a little spat. Him and Rob Thompson. Him and Rob Thompson had a little bit of a spat with each other. A little silliness, but it caused, Casty to sit, and I think that was a bit of a mistake. But, and is that situation an indication that Rob's losing the locker room? Let me hear your thoughts on that one too. Do you think it's time for a manager change here in Philly? Do you think it's time for somebody else to be the voice for the boys? I think Rob is a great manager. I think he's really led these guys in a great direction, and he's continuing to lead them in a great direction right now. But sometimes I feel like I want somebody with a little bit more spirit. You know what I mean? A little bit more energy. His post-gamers are not very exciting. Very just monotone and very, very calm man. But I think the boys need a little bit more, little juice, a little bit more, somebody with a little bit more pep in the step. You know what I mean? But they're in the right direction right now, so we're not going to throw, all the fire and shade on them. You tell me. What do you think? What do you think should happen out there in the field? I don't fully know what we do. I don't know where we go from here. I don't. I really don't. Right now, Schwarber leading the team in home runs, of course. 23. Leading the team in RBIs, 54. Trey Turner, again, I've touted about his offense is so good. He's leading the team overall this season with his average 302. And I've got no problems there. None at all. None at all. It's just his defense. It's just his defense, man. Bottom of the league, man. I don't know. Something's got to be cleaned up. Something. Our pitching leaders here, Wheels getting it done. I mean, he is the master of the bullpen. He is the leader of the bullpen. He's the old vet everybody should be looking up to. 7 wins, 118 Ks. Suarez does have the lowest ERA because Suarez is just an electrifying pitcher. He really is. But, boys are getting it done here. Just getting it done. Right now in the division, just took the lead back from the Mets. Let's go. That's why I'm super excited to watch these next 2 games. If we could cap off these 2 games right here with wins and continue to take that lead further and further, come on, boys. Come on, boys. This is opportunity knocking right here. It's knocking. It's knocking. The Braves, the Nationals, the Marlins, I'm not really worried about them hanging out down there at the bottom right now. I'm not. We got a series with the Braves coming up. But hopefully we just take care of them. Boom, boom, boom. Sweep them right off. Get rid of them. But we're getting it done right now, guys. It finally feels like we're getting it done. If we stay consistent and these bats can continue to answer when called upon, because they're doing a good job at doing that. Again, this is a World Series team. We got these 2 games with the Mets. Super excited again to see these. After we're done with those, we're going to go meet the Astros. And I don't know what. I expect another dogfight of a series. The Astros are usually a good team. They're always built good. Hopefully, we can pull off a series win there. That would be huge. And then we meet the Braves before we will talk again. And, that's another one where we got to do it. We got to dominate the Braves. If we dominate the Braves, we continue to push our lead further and further ahead, not just in the division, but all around baseball. This team needs to make teams go through the bank. I've said it before on this show. I'll say it again because I always just tout about it. This team needs to bring teams to the bank. And if they can force teams to try to go through the bank, it ain't going to be an easy ride. And as long as the boys show up and play like they usually do in the bank, we're going to the World Series. So get ready. We're going to the World Series. We got to. This has got to be the year. It's got to be. Can't be next year. So this bullpen has got to get figured out. Strom, get your head out of your ass. Figure it out, man. Get right, get better. Kirkring, continue to just take them strides forward, and he's the closing pitcher until Alvarado comes back and proves that he's the old Jose Alvarado. Starting pitching is doing pretty stellar. Not very many complaints there. They just need to continue to lock it down more and more. Wheels continue to perform. Suarez continue to take steps like he is. Harper, get back. And let's go win. Let's go win the World Series. Let's go, Phillies. Moving on. Our next topic today on the show, we're going to dive into the Ocho Corner. Here we go. I'm super excited about the sport this week. I was watching clips all morning long. I was watching tournaments. I'm super stoked about this one too, guys. Last week's sport, a good one. Not too much to say about last week's one. We started off a little cold, and we're going to get a little bit more spicy as we continue to progress through the Ocho Corner. But this week, we have the very exciting sport of roofball. And I just happened to turn this on when I was getting ready to go to bed. Almost every night before I go to bed, I check to see what's on the Ocho Corner late at night. Because late at night is when some of the best on the Ocho Corner. Boom. Let me bump my head with this mic a couple times. It's been a couple of muffs with the speech today, but we're not going to edit that stuff out because this is a raw show. Even though I do some editing and some filler ins and stuff, I don't edit what I say. I say what I say. If I stumble, I stumble. I'm a human just like you guys. But I was throwing on the Ocho before I was going to bed, and Roofball was on. And I was like, Roofball? What is that? What is that? Well, let me just give you a little bit of history real quick on the Roofball. Roofball, it was a sport born in Beaverton, Oregon driveway in the late 1990s. The late 1990s, or right around when I was born. And for a quarter of a century, guys, a quarter of a century. How many of you have heard of this sport? And for a quarter of a century, there's been men and women flinging them footballs up at the natural gas vent on houses. What a sport, guys. What a sport. At a roof that's very famous in the realm called Willis Park, which is where it all started, in the driveway of this couple. And I gotta say, guys, this is some of the best, just the best stuff you can watch. If you want to watch it, I'm gonna get right to that real quick. You want to watch this stuff, where to stream, go on the RFA website. It has all the information you need. The Roofball Football Association. You get on there and you look at all this stuff. Guys, I'm going to figure out how to join this too. But let's go over the rules here. The rules and how we score here in Roofball. So Roofball, when it first started way back, it was played in a driveway. Legitimately. You look up some old footage. I was watching some footage from 2007. It was electrifying to see camera crews and people just all piled around a driveway of somebody's house where they're throwing a football up at the natural gas vent. And it's awesome. It's awesome, guys. It's awesome. So the rules and the scoring. Here we go. Nowadays, they play, I've seen the last one was played at a tournament, somebody's house, but in a yard where they built a little setup. I'll put up a picture so you can see what I'm talking about. But the players have to stay in the little designated throwing area. Can't cross the line. The little designated throwers box, kind of like in baseball where they got a batter's box. You got like a thrower's box. So you can't cross the line, and you can't go across that line till the ball's released and hits the roof. Then you can start to move and try to catch it. So you get 1 point if you throw the ball up and it hits the roof, comes back down, catch it. That's 1 point. The primary method, though, of scoring, the way that a lot of people go for points, is what they call a ping, where you're going to throw the football up and you're going to try to hit the natural gas vent anywhere on it, ping it, ball bounces back down. Whether you catch it or not, it's 5 points. But if you catch it, obviously it adds a point because you get a point for catching the ball. So that would be like 6 points if you could ping it, catch it. One of the biggest point scorers is called the all around. That's where you're going to throw the ball up and you're going to try to get it to go around the natural gas vent in any way, shape, or form, whether it bounces one way, bounces the other way, however it gets around that thing. And then it's going to come back down, and whether you catch it or not, you get 10 points. But obviously, if you catch it, it adds a point, you get 11. So that's a huge score right there. Now, on a lot of roofs right next to that, it's like another little pole pipe, whatever it's venting something, it's a little pole. They call that the catch multiplier. So normally when you throw a ball up, it hits, it bounces off, you catch it, you get a point. If you throw it up to that one and you hit the little pole thingy, it comes back, catch it, catch multiplier, it goes up to 5. So now your catch is 5 points. So if you can manage to do the ultimate point getter, the 15, that's where you're going to throw it up. It's going to go around the natural gas vent, come around, somehow bop that catch multiplier, and then it comes down, you have to catch the ball. Now that one, you have to complete the catch. There is no ball hits the ground, you still get the points. You got to complete the catch, and then you get the 15 points. Now, you do get punished for throwing the ball over the roof. That's minus 5 points. You got to keep it in play, and you got to go get the ball. It just feels like a funny, silly little punishment, but it's an additional little silly punishment. You got to go get the ball if you throw it over the roof. Ball's dead once it hits, the ground, the bushes, hedges, lands in something like that. After the roof, anything like that it hits, ball's dead. You know what I mean? So 3 players play at one time, and they go until they go through a couple of rounds until they get down to 2 finalists, and they play until we have a winner. And again, guys, this is awesome. I encourage you, please. I'm going to have some pictures shooting up of just different games and arenas and stuff throughout the years of this game. But I encourage you, go watch the footage on this. To sign up or to be a part of this, I mean, on their website, they have a contact me thing. You can send them a message. I'm not going to tell you that that's going to really help you very much, but I mean, it's there, it's a way for you to sign up, I guess, or for them to maybe know your name or learn who you are. Guys, again, this game has been played since the late 90s. Got a whole list of champions. The very first champion in 1999. Jason Richards, the latest champion last year, Damian Gibson. Last year, guys, this is still going on. So get in on this. Get in on this too. We got guys who've been playing this game like their whole life. I got a list right here. Major champions. Derek Weber's won 13. 13 of these things, man. 13 major championships. They have women's, they have men's, they have open challenges where both play together. Guys, this is awesome. This is another one of those just awesome sports that is this is why I love the Ocho. This is why I love the Ocho Corner. I'm so excited. I talk about it all the time around people who are just around me. They probably get sick and tired of hearing me talk about it, but I am loving finding these weird sports, these out there sports that nobody else thinks about, nobody else talks about, but I love and falling more in love with. Roofball, dude, come on, guys. We got to sign up for some of this. I want to see some of you guys out there. I want to hear your stories that you heard about it on this podcast. You went out and signed up, and now you're playing. I want to play too. I'm going to go find some events. They got lots of them coming up. You go on the website. I got it open here. Go up on the website. Right up at the top, they got merch you can buy. They got the rules. They got the schedule coming up. This tournament just happened. Just happened 2 weeks ago. So sad that I missed that one. Another one happened a few weeks ago. Actually, today, as we are speaking right now, I'm looking at the schedule. As we're speaking, they got a tournament going on in Australia. Let's go, guys, in Australia. You got to hop on the YouTube and watch that footage with me once it's uploaded. It might even be live streaming right now. I don't know when that starts, but maybe I'll have to look that up and watch that later on. But a couple more tournaments going on this year. If you can get out to some of these, get out to these. Join a league. I'm going to try to join a league. This is awesome. Sports are awesome. The Ocho Corner is awesome. The Ocho is awesome. Next week on the Ocho Corner, we're going to dive into another sport that, you know what? I said this to my fiance, and I laugh because I know that I can't really do it. But you know what? I'm going to dive into a bunch of these because I am the sports fanatic. Our next week's sport, axe throwing. Get excited. I'm excited. All kinds of axe throwing. The electronic version, the wood version, the everything version. Axe throwing is awesome. I was watching some footage the other day. We're going to get into that next week on the Ocho Corner. And what an awesome, just again, guys, the Ocho Corner rules. It rules. A little bit of other sports news. Just going to dip our toe just a wee bit in some other stuff around the league real quick. Around baseball, we're going to start to look more at some other teams around baseball and some other storylines and where some other people stack up and stuff. Now that the other sports are starting to wrap up, which we'll get into here shortly, but now that some, sports wrapping up and other ones are starting, we'll start to dive more into detail on some other ones and look at where people stack up. Right now, other places in baseball, boy, it is looking like it's going to be a fun season coming up. The American League is loaded right now. The AL East, Yankees, Rays, Blue Jays, Red Sox, they're all scrapping for their place right now. Yankees 43 wins, Rays 42, Blue Jays, Sox both tied at 40. I mean, dogfight going on there. In the Central, the Tigers are just dominating. 48 wins, just dominating everybody. And in the West, the Astros, again, we're about to meet them, so we're about to get a little bit more details on them. Dominating. Mariners right behind them. Maybe a little bit of a surprise to me. Maybe not to more analysts who pay more attention, but to me, as of right now, shocker, but we'll dive more in. National League, Phillies still hanging around the top. Not the top anymore, but still hanging around the top. We got 46 wins. We're ahead of our division right now. We got 46 wins. The Mets, 45. And then, like I mentioned before, everybody behind us, not really worried about any of them. The Central, the Cubs, 45 wins. The Brewers, the Cardinals, 41. That's a bit of a dog's fight going on there. The Pirates, knocked out. Not even really worried about them at all. Down in the NL West, Dodgers are the Dodgers. We'll see them later on. Yay. Rockies continue to be the Rockies. 17-59. Just a tough time to play baseball if you're a Rocky. I mean, I can't imagine having to put my uniform on and going out and playing every day. I really can't imagine. I can't. Where we stand right now at this point in the year, we got home run leaders. We got our top three. I cannot pronounce his last name because I'm terrible at pronouncing names. So I'm just going to make them up because I'm good at that. Cal Raleigh, for the Mariners, has been just smoking balls left and right. Just look up some Mariners highlights and you will see this guy all over him, just smoking pitches left and right. He's got 29. Aaron Judge right behind him, 27. Ohtani, 25. Our boy Schwarber is not too far behind those guys at 23. I'm not quite sure where he is in the list. Our RBIs leaders, Suarez on the Diamondbacks, 65. Kiko Alonso, Mets, 64. We just saw him yesterday. Some of these guys just, we need more guys up in these leading boards. You know what I mean? We need more guys up in these boards representing the Phillies. We do have in the strikeout leaders, we do have Zack Wheeler. He's third, 118. His whip, .91. Also up there in the leaders. We need more guys up on these leaderboards. We do. We need more guys coming up and getting the job done. We'll see. We'll see where the baseball season goes over the next, little while. I don't have too much more going on with baseball right now. We will dive more into baseball. Again, like I said, as it goes on, we'll dive a little bit more into the baseball season as my time frees up a little more. One thing I do want to dive into again, because we continue to dive into this topic, and we're going to touch it again here. I love me some WNBA. I do love me some action in the WNBA. And I know I'm a little, behind on my update here on the drama, but you know what? It's drama still going on right now. Just a couple games ago, Caitlin Clark was playing the Connecticut Sun with the Indiana Fever, and she was going to make a play. She got poked in the eye by some female by the name of Sheldon, and it turned into a huge scrap. One of the other players on the Sun came up and shoved Caitlin over. Then later on, a player for the Fever, Sophie Cunningham, she decided, you know what? I'm going to stand up for Caitlin since nobody else did. And she took her down. And you know what? She deserved it. She deserved it, dude. Dude, Caitlin Clark is a monster. She tries and tries and tries and tries and tries with these ladies, and all they do is foul her, and they be jealous of the fact that she's such a great player and that she's on top of this league right now. And it brought me to this thought. What if? Because Caitlin Clark is the reason that people watch women's basketball. There's no denying that anymore. We talked about this last week on the show. After her injury, she went away, the ratings dropped. We talked about it last week. With her returning and showing that I'm the reason that this is watched and that all of this is going on, I'm the reason. I think she should take a collective of these women who are serious about playing the game of basketball, not serious about trying to make bajillions of dollars. Now, I want you to make a good amount of money, obviously enough to make a nice living. But what if she just takes a huge group of these girls, gets a good draft out of college, and then just starts her own league? Just starts her own league to go against the WNBA. What would happen then? She doesn't even have to be the commish. I don't care how she finds a commish for her league. I don't care if it's her mom. I don't care if it's voted upon by these players. I don't care if it's voted upon by fans. I don't care how they would come upon that. But you tell me what you think about that. I think she could do it. If she said, you know what? I've tried and tried with you girls, and all you do is hate me, and you foul me way more than any other player. So you know what? If you're going to be petty and act like this, I'm just going to take my ball and all the money and go start my own thing. Just go start my own thing. And then what are those women going to do? What are they going to do? What are they going to do after that? So, I think that there's too much jealousy in the WNBA going on right now. I really do. I think that it's not fair for some of these women to treat Clark the way they do. I mean, I know she's a grown woman and she can handle herself, and she has been. She takes this stuff right on the chin. She takes it right on the chin, and she continues to roll in stride. Now, I mean, she is a little shit. She does instigate some of this stuff and then runs out of the problem. But some of these women come looking to start something. They want to start something because they want to be associated with the name. You get associated with the Caitlin Clark name, it gets your name in the headlines. It gets your name known by a lot more people. In the WNBA news, the Indiana Fever did, however, advance to the Commissioner's Cup for the first time in the franchise's history, kind of like how the NBA has the midseason cup. The WNBA has the same thing, where they have a midseason cup and then they have the championship at the end of the season. But the Indiana Fever won all of their games in their divisions, and they got to where they needed to get here. And they will face the reigning champs, the Minnesota Lynx, who have been dominating this year. I think that they're one of the best teams, unfortunately, in the WNBA. I say unfortunately, I say unfortunately because that kind of feels like to me that the Indiana Fever aren't going to win this one. But who knows? Who knows? Any given day, anything can happen. So the Commissioner's Cup, again, it's kind of like the same thing, like WNBA or like the NBA's Cup in the middle of the season they do now, where guys can win a bunch of money, and these women are playing for money. And hey, man, that's a huge motivator. That's a huge motivator when you're shooting for $500,000 for your team to win. So $500,000. Let's go, Fever. Let's hope that Caitlin Clark wins and continues to prove why she is the dominant force in the WNBA. I'm moving right along. Next, I honestly don't have a lot to talk about here, guys. I don't. Football news is a little quiet right now. It's a little, maybe if you're like nose deep in it, you have some more news than I do. I've seen a couple of headlines here and there. I've watched a few things. Not a lot going on in the football world right now. Everybody's getting ready for training camp. Once training camp starts, then we'll really be able to dive in and talk football. We'll be able to get more looks at the guys that we want to look at and really get an idea of who's going to be leading each team in what spot. And then I think once that starts, we'll be able to make more predictions. All the predictions that people make now are obviously just that, the predictions. And once the training camps really dive in and start and you get to see more people, it's still just predictions. That's what we always do. But we love, projecting and seeing what's going to happen and then hopefully it coming to life. So we'll dive a little bit more into football news and stuff going on with football next week on the show as more sports news comes out and as more interesting things happen and more camps are going, and as we continue to ramp up the football season, it's scarily close to being upon us. Before we wrap up the show, I'm obviously know that I'm late here with this one, but you never know when it's going to happen, and it happened. But the Florida Panthers, your Stanley Cup champions, we give them a round of applause. Not the outcome we wanted, obviously. I had predicted that the Oilers were going to find a way to do it. They didn't. Stuart Skinner just didn't have it. And Calvin Pickard, even though he felt like he was going to be a fresh burst, a fresh breath of air, he wasn't. And the boys didn't get it done. But Brad Marchand, what a stud. The Florida Panthers, they prove that they are that team. They repeat as champions. Very tragic, very sad. They do it in a dominating fashion. It was, when it started, it was one of the best Stanley Cup playoff series I've ever seen. Multiple OT games, multiple electrical finishes, and then it all just kind of fell apart for the Oilers, and we'll see what next season brings. The NBA Finals, however, we're still holding on to hope. We're still holding on. It was not looking good. It was looking very grim. It was looking very ugly. Pacers were gone. They gone down 3-2. And we come Game 6. It was nail-biting, but the Pacers showed out. Rick Carlisle answered all of the questions when, after the last game, everybody said, why is TJ McConnell not playing more? Why? Why is that little guy not being more involved in the offense and more involved in this team right now? He needs to be. He's the spark plug. He's it. Halliburton, I think, has proven that he's a superstar, but needs to prove it a little more, but he's proven that he is. But TJ McConnell's proven that, hey, I'm the spark plug. Whether I'm a superstar or a star, I'm the spark plug. And that's what this team needs right now. They get it done in Game 6, 108-91. Tomorrow, Game 7. Next week on the show, we talk about whether my prediction was right or wrong. Either way, we get a new NBA champion. So, tell me who you want it to be. We're fingers crossed that it's the Pacers. So, let's go, Indiana. That'll do it for the show this week. Next week on the show, we'll obviously talk more Phillies like we always do. We'll dive more football news as the season gets closer and closer, talk more Steelers, check in and see how everybody's feeling and how we're feeling about the lineup getting closer and closer, how everybody's looking like they're gelling together. Talking axe throwing on the Ocho Corner. I cannot wait. You see how giddy I am about talking more random and wacky sports. And then just more random and exciting sports news that I want to talk about and that I just want to throw my 2 cents in. So thank you again so much for joining me this week. Leave a like, hit that comment button so that you can tell me whether or not I'm a real fanatic. I'm just plain crazy. Remember to subscribe. See you next time.